How's it going, gamers? It's currently 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and about an hour ago, Honkai, Star Rails, YouTube, and Twitter just dropped a massive lore video, just like how Genshin did it back in the day when it first released. But the good thing we have here is that they called it a part 1, first of all, so we have a good chance that this isn't just going to be a here's your lore video for the rest of the decade. Be back next millennia to give you an update on what the heck's happening with this game. But I'm gonna let this play out, and then there's some things I'd like to talk about in it. You know, rewind, give you a little bit of the lore teaser. But let's just run through this real quick, and I'll be quiet.
Let's make an exchange, shall we? An exchange of memories. I dreamed of a ray of light, of a crystal chalice. The light that shone from that crystal spoke to me. Listen to the parable of the stars. The nameless one, the pathless one, arrived from the edge of the wilderness, clad in stellar radiance. Go now, march unwaveringly into solar wind. At the end, you will return to my embrace, but march towards the light. Yet that light began to burn, piercing through the clouds as a golden death. Towers crumbled, and the people fled, for the sun was soon to set and meet with vicious destruction. But be not dismayed, O child of the world. The Luck's arrow will descend to purge the wicked abominations. You must follow the traces left behind in the storm's wake. The Celestial One guards their secrets, plotting out the roots that connect all things. But they are silent, like a shroud of mist at the center of the universe. Listen to the silence, and you will know where the stars are resting. Let your staff strike the earth, they say. Once and again. The tender sprouts will grow to the sky, and the dew that falls from their branches will rid you of sickness and poison. Blindfold your eyes, they say, that the approaching darkness may strike no fear in you. Let it not burden your soul, nor numb your stride. Push open the majestic gates, they say, and lift up the tablets of lapis. Read them aloud. Let the fire that forged the bricks and the ones that laid the walls' foundations be known.
Then they say, "Oh, you who have reached the end, enter into the paradise that envelops all. Join this great choir and feast. Listen to the beating of billions upon billions of hearts, holding you in their embrace."
Look upon the courtesan's extravagance, the mariner's intemperance. Listen to the infant in the mirror, the waves as they enter the dream, the tipping of the balance, the shapeless prince. And finally, measure the world against yourself, and take all such things to heart. This is the path you should walk, they say. Machiavelli, depart once more. Machiavelli. Countless shooting stars streak the sky tonight. Should you choose the right one, it will carry your wish to thousands of distant worlds.
So as you can see there, they're coming out with the heat, absolute banger, freaking gorgeous visuals. They got this chick. Kind of like how they presented Dan's Leaf, I believe that's his name, in Genshin Impact, just that mysterious guy that looked very cool, and they're like, oh, he's gonna be a playable character one day, and he's still not a playable character. So they introduced this girl. This girl's probably going to be just an integral part. Maybe she is the lore person that's leading the Stellaron hunters that are telling them the future. Maybe she's just going to be introduced later in the story. We don't know right now, but there's something very important, and that is mostly the start and the end. So if I play the start here again real quick for you.
Dreamed of a ray of light, of a crystal.
If you remember that was from the end scene of the first planet. It showed this little scene that you got into, and that's where you got your superpowers.
The light that shone from that crystal spoke to me. Listen to the parable of the stars. The nameless one, the pathless one, arrived from the edge of the wilderness, clad in stellar radiance. Go now, march unwaveringly into solar wind. At the end, you will return to my embrace, but march towards the light.
The nameless one, the pathless one. I've only known one character who I've gotten to name in this game. I'm pretty sure she's talking about us there. Then it goes into the Aeons of this universe. We got Destruction, which is the first Aeon that we were able to gain at the start of the story. You know, these aren't in order as the story will progress. It's very similar to how Genshin did it, except just not in order. So Genshin, they had every chapter in order that you would be going along your journey. This isn't, just because the first one's Destruction, the next one's the Hunt. You don't have the Hunt yet. It's pretty obvious. This one's really cool because it's Iridation. That's the AoE attack element or path, and it's associated with the Genius Society. And if you skip forward here a little bit, it shows like this robot that's somewhat connecting all of them together. So that seems to be the Aeon for the Genius Society. And if you remember, Herta during the story was talking, and she was saying how she was instantly communicating with other members of the Genius Society to help her to create the pocket universe that you get to go to, which became the roguelike element of the game. I believe this is how they're communicating with each other and how they're staying in touch. They're communicating through the help of this Aeon, and in the future we're going to be able to see that. That's going to be super, super hype. Next, we're going to talk about the Abundance, because I feel like the Abundance is the integral story point that we're at right now. And it talks about how she obtained eternal life, but it did not allow her to accumulate infinite wisdom. And so all the people that she loved and cherished slowly faded in obscurity over time, never to return. And the reason that I believe that that's important now is because this is the only one that I found them talking about eternal life. And if you have ever gotten to the second planet yet, eternal life is a very integral part of the story currently right now. And so I feel like we might obtain the Abundance once we leave the planet, or they might be doing a sort of hopping between the two planets. So we obtained Preservation last planet, then this planet we're gonna just fill out the Eidolons for it. Next planet we're going to obtain a different one, then have just one planet be like filler content between patches. That's probably not what's going to actually happen, but it's a thought. So yeah, if we're going to get an element, I believe that we are going to acquire the Abundance here. Then we got Sad Nihility. My sad boy. Just destroying everything that exists for all eternity, you know. Just vibing. And this is the most important part that I want to talk about, is this final scene that they show.
They say, Machiavelli, depart once more.
Machiavelli, depart once more. So, I was thinking, who the heck's an Machiavelli? So I looked it up. Machiavelli is the Trailblazer Ion. And the whole story for Akavili is that he departed from a planet known as Pegana. I don't know how to say that. Pegana. And then he wanted to understand one of the paths, because there are 3 directions of the Wheel of Destiny. One is the unknown, one is the known, and one is the unknowable. And he believed that the path of destiny that was considered to be the unknowable was a challenge. So he set out and tried to figure out what this unknowable destiny was. And while doing that, he went into an accident. An unknowable or unspeakable accident happens, and his destiny was altered or abruptly ended. And they don't actually go into it. I'm guessing that's for future to elaborate what happens here, but they don't tell about anything about him, what he looks like. Just that's all we know about him currently right now. So when we go back here and we have her talking about someone that seems like she's alluding to the player character, and then at the very end it's telling Akavili to go on to basically finish the journey and figure out what this unknowable destiny is. It very much seems like we might be an Ion ourselves in search for that unknowable destiny. Or maybe, here's another thing, it focuses on the train during this as well. And we don't know even what this train is, how it's being able to do this interdimensional travel. Maybe the lore guys know, but I don't. So maybe when she's speaking about Akavili, maybe that's speaking about the train itself as being the Ion of the trailblazing path, since all the trailblazers ride on it. One last thing that I wanted to bring up is this last portion right here, where it starts going into veracity, the propagation, starts talking about equilibrium, and it talks about all these different aeons or ions that we've never seen before or heard of before. And as a normal player, I just thought, you know, we had these guys, we just had these guys, and then we also had some of these guys. But it seems like this universe is massively bigger than anything we comprehended beforehand. And if we just look at all the aeons that exist in this game, it's a long list, with each aeon having just interdimensional beef with each other. Like, for example, the aeon of let me go here for it. The aeon for abundance is being followed by the hunt. The hunt is trying to kill him. And this game's lore, this video just opened my eyes to how deep and intricate and cool this lore is. So I just wanted to share my excitement and hype for you. So I hope I taught y'all something that you might have not noticed or heard of before. Maybe you didn't even know there was a bunch of aeons. Maybe you just thought there was the 7. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, Johnny.
You